Hi, I'm Vernisha. I am an online fitness coach and a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who specifically helps Christian women lose fat and build muscle. Today, I am hoping to better scale my business and overcome some of the hurdles I'm having with my start stops, which I think is related to my systems. So better tying down my systems and just having a game plan to continue the momentum moving forward. And also too, with getting better with closes as well as getting people on sales calls. So that's me.
All right, so your niche, we have Christian women, yes?
Yes.
Okay. What are your packages at right now?
It's the 6 month, I believe, is $2,400. 3 month is $1,500.
Okay. All right. You have nobody on your team, right? It's just you?
Kind of, like, I have people helping me, but like no one that I'm like really paying.
Okay. And how much roughly are you making per month right now?
I'm gonna say like maybe
Rough
like
estimate.
1,600 maybe. Very rough estimate.
Okay. So you're about selling one client per month on average?
That's like how much is coming in pocket. So like per month, I would say like 1 or 2 clients per month.
Okay. And then let's do this. So helps me understand kind of where you're at.
One of the questions I had is like working with people who are pro bono is one of like the biggest ones. Like how to work with people who are pro bono. So like they're coming, helping, but like it just feels like a mess, if that makes sense. Like in terms of like...
I mean, working with people for free?
Yeah, like working with people for free, but then it's like...
Are you doing that right now?
Yeah, like people work with me for free.
Why?
Because they want to help and they want to see
They're
things
working
grow.
For you or they're working with you?
For me, I would say.
Okay, and so what's your question around that?
So like, I guess sometimes like I don't know when to like, I guess like push my boundaries because it's like, I'm not paying you, so I don't want to be like rigid, like, okay, we have to do this.
You can't.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
you know, what is someone that's working pro bono? Like, what are they doing for you?
So like one person like helps me at times with edits, another person helps me with recording and stuff. So like, for example, yesterday we'd scheduled for them to work with me on Wednesday. They're like, okay, I can do Wednesday. They're like, actually, I can't do Wednesday. How about Friday? Friday, comes up, the time that we were supposed to meet comes up. And then they're like, actually, I can't do this time. Can we do a little later? And then so then the time comes and then they go, actually, I'm just now getting home. Can we make our way? So then I was like, you know what? Like, forget it. Just stay home or whatever. So like.
You can't ask them to do anything or be upset at them because they're doing you a favor. You're not in a position to hire really anyone right now. You just gotta do it yourself.
Right.
So you can't really get mad at them because they're doing you the favor. That's just what it is. A tip that I would say is if you want to try to get help but you don't have the money, just go to hire an intern, like a college intern.
Yeah.
Like at UMass, right? They have a kinesiology department and those kids are pretty hungry, at least I was. Just text the department at the college and say, hey, I'm looking for a personal trainer who wants to help me edit content and learn marketing. And then you'll get a bunch of their emails and you can reach out to them and hire an intern for free and they get internship hours that way because the college students have to get hours.
Yeah, that's good.
That's one thing to do. Other than that, you're gonna have to pay someone if you actually want them to be structured employee.
Right, that's what I was thinking too. Okay, and I guess my other thing, like the biggest tier that I have is like I wanna like get a perspective on day in the life of like Mike when everything seems to just be coming at him at once. And then it's like 1 minute it's like, okay, I got things in order. And then another minute it's like, oh my gosh, like a million things, everything comes crashing down. Now for context, I'll give like DMs or like say DMs are going in a steady flow and then say maybe like you just get lost with the DMs and then say maybe you miss a few or whatever. But then at the same time, say for example, you have to give other clients like supplementary stuff, or then say for example you have sales calls, and then say for example you also have like. So
let's do the day in the life scenario. Okay, so what are the issues? So you have to message, you know this, yes?
Yep.
You have to take sales calls, yes?
Yes.
Okay, you have to post content.
Yes.
Okay, what other stuff is going to be thrown my way today?
You have in-person clients.
Okay, I have in-person clients.
You work front desk at the gym.
What?
You work front desk at the gym.
So you have in-person clients and you work front desk at the gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a group fitness class.
So this is you, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so
And schedule changes. Schedules change.
Schedule's always going to change.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, what are your hours here? So when do you start your day? When do you end your day right now?
Sometimes I start my day at 5.
On average.
Yeah, I would say usually
So you
5.
get up at 5?
No, I get up at like 3.
God damn.
Yeah, like 3:30.
Okay.
And then my day would probably end at like 6, 7 sometimes.
Okay. What time do you start work here?
In person and front desk 5 in the morning. That recently changed. Before it was 11, but 5 for both.
Okay. And do you have breaks in between, or do you go straight through for a set amount of hours?
Go straight for like 7 hours. Sometimes it's like a 30-minute break, but for the most part, go straight.
Okay, so you obviously should have a lunch break, yeah?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Okay, so you go straight 7 hours from 5 a.m. is
to 12 p.m. And then say, for example, now, group calls. That's another thing too.
What group calls?
The group calls with Next Gen. So like
Okay.
sometimes that's at 12, so right after my
Yep, so you gotta come to group calls. So let's make a priority list here. So we have group calls. So 5 to 12, and then you're done with this stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so basically your day, and can you text when you're at the front desk and use your phone and stuff,
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so from 5 to 12, once I'm settled in at work, I am, let's just say, sending my first batch. If I want you to send out 100 messages a day, I'm sending my first batch of 25 at 6 a.m. You know, let's say that takes me about an hour because you have to do stuff and work. You're not just going to be on your phone.
Yeah.
Really, sending out 25 messages should take you 30 minutes, but let's double that because you're also going to be doing stuff. So that takes you to 7 a.m., your first 25, you have 75 left. In-person client, you can come back, then message. So what I would do is whenever you have spare time, you just spend that time messaging until 12 o'clock, see how much you're at. So let's just say you get out 50 messages by 12. Now you have 50 to go.
Yeah.
You have to join the group call, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. After the group call, I'm sending out more messages. So having the time to message is fine. If you batch create your content on a Saturday, you go and record your content. On Sunday, you edit all your content. You have 5 to 7 pieces of content for the week, and all you have to do is schedule it
Yep.
to go out. So that way, during the week, you legitimately have to do nothing with posting content. But this is self-preparation. If you don't self-prepare, you're going to be like, holy crap, I have to do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
You do not have time to post content because you're starting so early, and I'd rather you send messages than spending time posting content and rushing something together. So what you're going to have to do is just take the weekend to prepare all your content. It should not take you more than 3-4 hours. So this is a weekend thing, so that's good. Sales calls, obviously you're going to take sales calls. I mean, you're free after 12 o'clock. So you have from 12 to 7. You have 7 hours to take sales calls. This should not be an issue.
Yeah.
Why?
I think sometimes what happens is like I'll have the time blocks open and then people aren't available until like after 6, after 7
So
on specific days.
So I would take your last call at 6 o'clock. So like someone can book at 6, but no one can book after 6.
Okay.
Because so that call can go from 6 to 7, because then you need some time to unwind. But if someone tells you that they can't book, if I need a 7 o'clock or I need a 9 a.m., they're probably not that serious, right?
Yeah.
Because if you told someone, hey, if you show up to my office today at 2 p.m., I'll give you $1 million, do you think they're going to say, sorry, I can only come at 9 a.m.? Or are they going to walk their ass to the office and go pick up $1 million, right?
Yeah.
So it's just about, is it important enough for that person to book in a call?
Yeah.
So you have to sell the value of the call of, hey, on this call, we're going to diagnose your issues. I'm going to give you a full action plan on how to reach your goal. And if we find it's a good fit, great, we can work together. So incentivize them to still come to the call. One thing I'm going to start testing is giving them like a $5 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks and say, hey, go get yourself a coffee before the call. I want you to take a lot of notes. We're going to be really excited. And I want to make sure you can pay attention and listen. So make sure you're caffeinated, right? So $5 to show up to the call, get a good $2,400 package out of them, I'll spend $5 for that.
Okay.
So sales calls are between 12 and 6, the last time they can call. And that's a 6-hour window every day, that's fine. And if you want to open it up on the weekends, you can also open it up on the weekends. In my experience, if someone can only take a call on a Saturday or Sunday, I'd say 50% of the time they're a terrible lead because they didn't make time during the week to do it. They can only do it when they're free. So it's probably not that giant of a priority. But take that as you will. So I really don't see an issue here. Now, if you did 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. work, like this kind of work, then that becomes problematic. But if you're done at 12, you have legitimately all day to do everything. As messages come in, you just answer them. But I would make it more manageable. It's more manageable to say, okay, before 1 o'clock today, I need to have 25 messages sent out. Before 3 o'clock, I need to be at 50. And by 6 o'clock, I need to be at 100. As opposed to thinking, damn, I have to send 100 messages today.
Yeah.
It just seems like too giant of a mountain to climb.
Yeah.
Right? So mentally spread this out over time. But in order of priority of what's going to move the needle and what's going to make you money, it's getting out a piece of content once a day. So make sure you batch create on the weekends. It's going to be sending out 100 messages to your warm leads, your followers, people who like your posts, comment, etc. And then taking your sales calls. And obviously group calls, but group calls aren't every day. If you can just focus on these 3 things and make these the priority to get done every day, you will make way more money.
Okay. So messages, sales calls, post content.
Which you already knew this.
Yes, I did.
But you asked for a breakdown of how I would do it. Now, when you told me 3 a.m., I got scared, but then you told me you stop at 12, so now there's no excuse there.
Yeah, I think the roadblocker challenge is I don't know, the in-person clients sometimes. I just deal with a lot of unserious people. So my schedule.
Unserious?
Yeah, because even with my in-person, there's a lot of, can we reschedule? Can we change? But I do have time, especially.
Can you set your own policies? Hey, if you reschedule this or if you cancel this.
Yeah, and I think that's my issue. My policies aren't
Okay, so if you keep getting cancellations as in-person, you don't want to give up in-person yet, here's the policy. If you cancel in less than 24 hours of notice, you do not get that session back. You paid for a session and it's not going to be redone. That's what I do every single time. If you're late to a session, I'm not extending the time that you're 1 hour. If you're 30 minutes late, we have a 30-minute session. I print out a piece of paper and I make them sign it after our first evaluation session. When they give me the money for the month of 10 sessions, whatever, here's the cancellation policy. I explain it to them. Hey, look, I'm busy. You took up someone else's time. If you cancel, that's money wasted on me. So I just ask you give me at least a 24-hour notice. If you can do that, no problem, we'll reschedule. If it's less than 24 hours, if it is 23 hours, you are not going to get this money back and you essentially wasted your session.
Okay.
And then I always make sure you have to reschedule within the same month, because when I did in person, what I did was you pay for how many sessions you want that month. So it's not a month-to-month contract. It's a month-to-month contract, it's not a long-term commitment. So if someone did 8 sessions per month and then say they canceled the 5th one within the 24 hours, they have to make it up before the end of the month. They don't roll over into the next one, because that just creates a mess.
Yeah.
If you don't make it up by then you lose the session.
Okay.
You put all that on a piece of paper, signature.
Yeah, because I did not have this.
Okay?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. The main way that you're getting clients is organic outreach, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's your content been doing?
It hasn't been as good lately.
Have you been putting in the effort that you were putting in the beginning?
If I'm being honest, no. But also because I noticed that the content that I did, the ones that did best were the creative ones or whatever. But I'm losing creative juice.
Did you start following your competitors?
Yeah, a little bit.
Christian women, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. But if I'm being honest, not to toot my own horn.
It's not the best, right?
Not.
You got a good teacher, so.
Yeah, I do. I do. It's not the best.
To everyone that you gotta say, go follow my guy because your content stinks.
No, I actually might have to. So that's why it's hard to, I'll watch Christian women and I'd be like, bro,
If you're lacking creativity in your content, I'm gonna lay out the 4 pillars as to what's working right now that is not only going viral, but it's turning your content into cash, okay? So, number 1, we have value-based content. Number 2, we have authenticity-based content. Number 3, we have lifestyle content. And number 4, we have viral content. So these are the 4 pillars of content. These 2 and 3, are really exploding right now. Most people think, I just gotta post value, I just gotta post value, I just gotta post value. No. If you just post value, nobody's ever gonna buy from you because you're just giving them information. You're like an impersonable fitness coach. So let me give you examples of one of these having to do with your niche, Christian women. So value-based content, I think that's pretty straightforward. doesn't really have to, like Christian women is not going to do anything different than a fireman who's trying to lose weight, right? So value-based content is like exercise demonstrations, how to count your macros, how much protein should you be eating, best exercises for body part. So like stuff that basically think of value-based content, conversations that you have that your in-person clients ask you, okay? Providing value. Authenticity type content is something deep, emotional, like something that's sort of uncomfortable that you wouldn't tell a stranger, okay? So think of like that 1B video that I had you do. That. So for an example, so let's say someone in your ministry, God forbid, passed away, and it really took a toll on you this week. You make a video, maybe sitting on the front of your church stairs or in your house or in your car, like very raw. And you just talk about how it's affected your motivation, how you're so down today, how you don't want to go to the gym because you lost this person, and how life is so precious. And you'd say, I've been crying you start the video, I've been crying all week. Someone in my ministry died, and she was a rock for me. She motivated me, and I don't have that anymore. Now, what I can do is stop going to workouts and stop taking care of myself, but I know she wouldn't want that. And so here's how I'm going to do instead, in honor of XYZ, right? So very off the rip example, but something deep and emotional that gets somebody to say, wow, I can't believe she's open about that. I can relate to that. And I appreciate you sharing that with me, Vernisha.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So authenticity based. So like, I've been crying all week, and here's why. A lifestyle content. So that would be you walking into church. You're in the worship team. You was. So
yeah.
You were. So you walk in, you have videos of you doing worship, or you're taking the camera, you're like, come on, you're going up and you start singing, you're like this up on stage. Like your lifestyle, like what do you love that Christian women can relate to? Or you giving out pamphlets in front of the door before church. An extreme example, let's pretend you're a Miami famous influencer. It's you getting into your Rolls Royce, and you're like, here's how I bought a Rolls Royce at 22.
Yeah.
Right? So lifestyle, like show them who you are, that make people say, wow, I like her, I like that, and this is what I want my life to look like. Okay, so you show off here.
Okay.
And then viral type content, we know has been so polarizing, right? You gotta make people love or hate you, either extremely love you or extremely hate you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be around fitness, nutrition, etc. Like a good example would be, aside from Christian women, would be like if you're sitting in a plane, right? And you're in first class, and you got your Louis bag, you got the Gucci glasses, whatever, and you're just surrounded by all old white men in first class on Delta Airlines, and here you are, this young girl who's making a ton of money, and you put POV, you're a 22-year-old millionaire sitting around a bunch of old white guys in first class, and they keep staring at you, and you make it kind of funny, right? So that's a viral type content, because who can relate to that? Women, powerful women who want to get rich, and everyone knows it's when you walk down first class, it's all rich old white guys that are sitting in first class on airplanes. Right. So viral type content, I'm trying to think of an idea for you. I don't know if you guys do this in your church, but it's like in Stations of the Cross, maybe you can have a video of you doing the Stations of the Cross and put that in there, and then make a quote about, if Jesus carried the cross like this, you should be able to do this, right? So just a couple ideas. So if you get these 4 pillars into your content, you will not only go viral, create a brand, but you're also, through these, going to get people to trust you, because you're nurturing them and showing them that you're not just a robot who posts workout videos.
Yeah.
Right? Any questions about any 4 of these?
For authenticity, would you say, sorry, I'm thinking how to pose my question. Would you say I also think about people who kind of merge lifestyle and authenticity? Do you think that would work too, where they're showing themselves doing something, but they're talking in the background about how their week was or whatever?
Yeah, so that's lifestyle. It's not really, you can tie authenticity into that, but lifestyle is a day in my week. Here's what happened. Now, if you're showing that because it's been a really tough week, or because one of your clients left you, or because some drama happened, or because something great really happened and you want to show that in like a lifestyle vibe, you can, but like it would be an authenticity, not really a lifestyle. Authenticity is something that everyone in your niche can relate to, but just doesn't speak about it out loud, but it's insinuated that everyone goes through this.
Okay.
Does that make sense or no?
Does. No, it does. I'm laughing because, I have a perfect thing. I was just like, I'm not going to tell anybody about it.
Yeah, if you care to share, I can tell you what it is and how to do it, but if you don't want to share,
I'll
that's
share.
fine.
So like, I guess right now in this season, and it's funny because my client was talking about it, and I was like, Lord, how am I going to help her? Because I'm dang struggling too. So like, I guess sometimes like people would say like spiritually like numb or like dead type of thing. So like right now I'm in a season where I feel like, or like spiritually dry, or like in a wilderness season. So like with that, it's just been harder to like relate to God, connect to God. And it's like trickling or like affecting how I do everything else. Authenticity. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I thought. That's great, because when you said that, like I'm in a season that I feel, you didn't say this exactly, but distant to God.
That's exactly.
I was like, yep. I feel the same way. Like in my head, when you said that, I was like, yep, I feel the same way. So like, what if I saw that piece of content and you were raw about it and you were talking about how it's making you feel and how it's affecting your relationships and your clients, I'd comment and I'd say, I needed to hear this today.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is authenticity content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great example. Like I couldn't have thought a better example.
Yeah.
That's great.
Man, that was just a matter of sharing.
You are talented with content when you put your effort and really sit down and do it. You are creative. Your creative juices just aren't flowing, but when they are, you're really good.
Yeah, okay. Just have to, my schedule's changed, so now I have.
Well, that's what it is. When you have so much on your plate. Any more questions with this?
I guess, I don't know about, actually I have content questions a little bit, but.
Related to this or no?
No, okay. I wouldn't say so. Yeah, no.
Feel free to ask.
So I guess sometimes, dang, where's my brain going? Okay, I'm gonna just dump everything that I'm thinking about and then organize it.
Feel free to write it down.
Yeah.
Just give me one question at a time.
Okay, so I guess it's kind of related to that, but the one question I had was like, do you have a suggestion as it relates to like a specific order or like however so often, like I know you mentioned this actually in the portal, but like the different pillars of content or just posts however much.
How much of each should you post, you're asking?
Yeah, like say like in a month, how much viral content should I post, lifestyle, authenticity, or
well, you want to take what's working and double down on it. So if I were, strictly speaking without data, if I had a guess, but it's all dependent on how your audience is reacting to these videos. Like if you are on Instagram crying every week, eventually people are going to go numb and say, this girl's just a crybaby, right? Yeah. So like, I'd probably say authenticity twice a month max, because if it's really deep stuff. But you can have more shallow authenticity, it's just not going to hit as hard, right? So I'd probably say twice a month for authenticity. For lifestyle content, maybe once a week. Value content, 2-3 times a week. Viral content, 2-3 times a week.
Okay.
So authenticity and lifestyle, not as much of that, just because at the end of the day, you want to get people to buy from you, see that there's value in investing in you.
Yeah.
And you also want to bring in eyeballs, right? But if you have 2 back-to-back videos go viral that get 5 million views each, you can probably tone it down on the viral content for a little bit and transition more into value-based and lifestyle. So all these millions of people that are now finding out who you are can see a day in the life and understand who Vernisha is and also get value from what you're posting. Because the value stuff isn't really going to go viral 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
It's for when you have people coming to your page, okay, how do we nurture those people?
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing with lifestyle and authenticity. It probably not going to though.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's good to know. So then, I guess this is a comment too. Like it doesn't even really, but there's this app that someone told me about, which I like, I guess just for future reference. And it helps I guess it's like a post, it's called Airtable. And it's like a post like scheduler, like planner and stuff like that. So that's what that brought me to mind. So I could be like, okay, like this week I'll do this stuff and just bang it out.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those. There's one called like Hootsuite or something like that. I never felt the need for it personally, so I haven't looked too much into it. And I don't ever recommend things I don't use myself.
Yeah.
But if you like it, it keeps you organized, why not?
Yeah, that's real. And then lives, Instagram lives. You mentioned this too before. Anyways, I'm just laughing because I don't know, I feel awkward in front of the camera, but whatever. Like, what do you say? Like, how do you prepare like to do a live?
You know what Twitch streaming is?
Vaguely, like people just sit there and just talk to people who are on
like
there.
Legitimately, just Twitch streamers just have a camera following them all day and pretend the camera's not there. Some of these people have the most mundane, boring lives in the world, but like when you build a fan base, people like that. Like everyone knows that you're not busy every single second of the day. Sometimes you're just sitting there doom scrolling on your phone. So like the live, you can do really two things with live on Instagram. You can have a purpose for it and do like webinar style stuff or like a Q&A having to do with losing weight or counting macros or whatever, with the goal of either booking a call here with a Q&A or webinar or just straight selling something. The other way to do live is just for nurture, where you just open up your camera and you start talking whatever the heck you want to talk about, whether it's, you know, just got out of church and, you know, something that my pastor said really resonated with me, which can also be a piece of content, but just talking to the camera just as if, you know, you're talking to your friend, and just have the camera follow along and just be live and answer questions and make it fun. So fun. That's really what you can do. Most people do it for this, but if you wanted to, you know, if you're sending out messages or you're programming on Trainerize and you just want to put your tripod open, have your phone pointing to you and they can see you can just talk about, hey, so I just had a client sign up, this is my program, I'm programming her workouts right now, this is how we do it, this is a look inside of my app, and people are just going to start asking you questions and you can say, hey, good question, yeah, for lunch today I'm having this, or so question about the app, can it do this? Yep, here's how you do this. So you can be more loose with it, or you can be like, hey, next Sunday, live on Instagram, I'm hosting a webinar on how to calculate your macros and lose weight as a faith-based woman. If you want to join, click this link and sign up for the webinar. And then it's really an Instagram live, but you make it more formal. Yeah. With a pitch that's gonna be in there.
Okay. And so you would suggest like posting like a video being like if I were to do it more formal, like, hey, like I'm going live on Instagram at this time. I know some people do like flyers or whatever.
There's a lot of different ways to advertise your live. So if you plan on going live on Instagram formally, the ways to advertise for that would be a feed post, okay? You can make a story, okay? You're gonna send this to your email list to let them know time and date. You can make flyers if you want and post flyers. You could do direct mail like to people's houses. You can run an ad.
Yeah, that's 1,000,001 ways.
Okay? There's a million ways that you can tell people about your live. The easiest low-hanging fruit is you post a video about it to your Instagram or like a static post as well. You post about it on your story, send an email to your email list, and you can put some money behind an ad to retarget all of your followers to join your live.
Okay, that sounds good. There we go. So say, for example, because I've had ideas in the past that like would require people signing up for stuff. In my case, how would you because I think I've asked in the past like things at like a landing page and stuff like that, but I'm not at the point where like I can invest in like the software for that. So would I just do like a Google Forms or something?
For what?
So I'll give you an example. So I was like, maybe I should do like 1 month 10K step challenge and have people like sign. I think I mentioned this to you before, and have people sign up like. And I know you'd mentioned funneling them somewhere so they can add their email name, etc. So would I just do like a Google Forms or something?
Well, no, because you want to create a group, right? So you mean to collect emails or to like send people to go for when they're in the challenge?
Both, I would say.
Well, to collect stuff, yeah, you can just do Google Forms to collect email, phone number. If you don't have any email software or anything like that, then just collect it on Google Forms. But then you probably want to redirect them to a Facebook group or a group inside of Trainerize, because for challenges, you want them to have a sense of community, but also be able to nurture them and get them on a call, right? So the point of a challenge is not just for the challenge, for the fun of it. It's to build a relationship, build trust with people, try to get them on calls and try to ascend them into a higher ticket program.
Yeah. And then so with challenges like this, so say when I am in the position to like have a landing page or whatever, what like software would you recommend to use for that, like to invest in for that?
My recommendation would be go high level, because you can have landing pages, you have email, you have a calendar, you have pipelines to keep everything organized that you want in there. SMS automations makes follow-ups 10 times easier. There's so much in there. You have your whole business inside of there. It's only $97 a month, so it's worth it. Because then you can cancel Calendly. You can cancel if you have Typeform, you can cancel Typeform. There's a lot of stuff you can cancel once you get that. So it kind of balances out.
You said it's called high level?
Go high level, yeah.
You mentioned the Trainerize group, and I think maybe I should have just done more research. I attempted opening one of those up, like with my clients, for example, but they can only see when I say something in it. Like they can't see anybody else's like messages.
Inside of a group chat in Trainerize?
Yeah, like I made a group with all my clients.
I'm not sure. It must be something in settings.
Okay, I'll look it up. And so, what are your thoughts also on like WhatsApp groups or like Instagram groups versus like Facebook groups or Trainerize?
In what context?
In like accountability, like the challenge or like...
Having everything housed in Trainerize is the easiest, because you don't want people to jump around platform to platform to platform. Some people don't even use Facebook, but everyone that's a client of yours has to use Trainerize, so they're there already. If you don't have any other questions, we can go over metrics and that kind of stuff, unless you have more questions.
Yeah, we can do that. I think they'll come as we go over it.
So a business only has one constraint at a time. People like yourself and a lot of other business owners, you try to put out a bunch of fires all at once, but you don't see the biggest fire just getting bigger and bigger and bigger that's glaring in the face. So you solve for one constraint, okay? So when we talk about the funnel, we have eyeballs, right? How do we get people to see your page? Once you have eyeballs, you have outreach, like in building relationships. From outreach, you're gonna have responses let's just call them leads. From that, you're going to have sales. From that, you're going to have fulfillment, meaning like training your clients, and then you'll have retention, okay? From like a 30,000 foot view, this is the funnel. If you have a kink here, nothing else is gonna work. So like if you don't do outreach, but you come here and tell me, hey, my sales is terrible, I only close at 10%. Well, you're not even getting enough volume. This isn't the issue. The issue is here. If I booked 5 calls over the last 6 months, let's say, and you tell me you've closed only one of those 5, and you tell me you have a sales problem, no you don't. You have an outreach problem if you're only sending 10 messages a day, right? So you post content, right? So you have eyeballs, I know you do.
Yeah.
So check. Outreach, roughly how many messages a day do you send?
Outside of the last 2 weeks, maybe like 10, 15.
10, 15
messages.
An hour a day?
I would say maybe a day. On average, for the past few months, I have like 150, 170. I know. I know.
Okay. What is your response rate?
It's low.
So that's definitely your constraint, is you got to track. If you don't track, there's no way to know what these numbers are. Businesses are scaled and built on data, not on I think or it's about or averages or emotion. You have to track everything that you can imagine inside of your business.
Okay.
Like even your content. Like what type of content, you can even make a sheet. My authenticity content gets about a 4% engagement rate. My viral content gets about a 10% engagement rate. And my viral content, when I talk about nutrition, it gets 4 times or 4% higher comments than when I talk about workouts.
Okay.
So like you can track and should track as much as possible, but you have to track. That's the number one constraint you're having right now, is aside from like just not having enough volume, you're not tracking.
Okay.
So it's impossible to see what your response rate is. But let's just take that roughly 5 out of 15. That's a 33% response rate, which is excellent if that is the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not the constraint. This is good because your response rate is good. This is 15 a day. Aside from tracking, this is where you're going wrong, is you're only sending out 15 messages a day. Who's gonna make more money? Someone that sends out 150 a day or 15 a day?
150.
Right. I can't tell you the simplicity of business. Like if you're making, let's say these numbers are accurate and you've been doing these 15 a day, 30% response rate, and you've been doing $1,600 a month for the last 4 months. Consistently, this is the numbers. Well, now that we have data, if you want to make $3,200 a month, what do? You just double the output. You know you're going to get a 33% response rate. For every 15 a day messages per month, that's what? Like 400 or 500 messages a month. So if you up that to 800 to 1,000, you'll have $3,200. And so the numbers will tell a story, and you can just do more of what's already working to some degree. It may not be working to the degree you want it to, but it's working. And so if you want more money, you just do more of what's working.
Yeah.
And that's why numbers are important. Your close rate, have you tracked that or no?
It's the same thing. So I did in this 18 calls that I've had, I've closed about 7, and then 1 down.
So 7 out of 18?
Yeah.
Okay, what's
Let me
that
double
math?
check.
That is a 38.8% response rate. It's close rate, which is very good. 25% is like, someone says, I close at 25%. I wouldn't say you're doing bad, but I also wouldn't say you're doing good. It's like acceptable.
Okay.
30% is, okay, you're a little bit, you are doing good, okay?
Okay.
38% is you're doing pretty darn good.
Okay.
Right? So your close rate is not the issue. So there you go. Now, fulfillment, I know fulfillment kind of gets brushed under the rug with a lot of coaches. Not you. You spend a lot of time with fulfillment, meaning getting your clients results, right?
Yeah.
So the time that you spend here, we just have to make sure you're not spending all your time coaching, because if you spend all your time coaching, you don't have time to be a business owner, which is these things up here. And then retention, do you have a retention rate or no? Like the amount of clients that have signed up, gone through your 90-day or 6-month program and have continued with another package after?
No, because they're still going.
Okay, so this is going to be important. You want at least 30% here minimum, which if you have the right systems and you provide a good experience and fulfillment, this will not be an issue. So right now, your number one issue is you're not tracking, but from what you're telling me, honestly, is you're only sending 15 messages a day. So here's your number one constraint. Everything else does not matter. Like we can talk about the types of content, we can talk about sales, we can talk about how to make Trainer Eyes freaking amazing. Nothing else is going to matter when it comes to growing your business right now other than this. So when you ask in the short time, or when I'm stressed, or what should I do in a day? Number one constraint, more outreach.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
You're like, dang, he keeps proving me that I just need to send more messages and I don't want to send more messages.
It's like, well, I knew from the very beginning this was gonna challenge like everything that I just swept under the rug. And for me, that's outreach and then sales. That's why I'm surprised, like you said 38.8 is pretty good, because I'm like, dang, like.
If those numbers are accurate,
Yeah.
If what you just told me.
Yeah, because those are the amount I've closed. Like I have one in person, and then I have like 7 online clients.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe it's because I've been getting more no's than yeses lately. But anyways, yeah, because with outreach, like it's terrible to say, but even my friends are like, dang, Vernisha, like I never hear from you. So I don't know what it is. I just have to go past this hurdle of like, when someone responds, it's like, I'm like a deer with headlights. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I say? This on the third. And then when I don't know what to say, I freeze.
You do know what to say though.
Yeah.
I legitimately tell you what to say in the script.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not that you don't know what to say.
Yeah, I think what it is like, it's a fear of what they're gonna say. Like, it's a fear of like, I like not good with, what do you call that? Like
Objection handling?
Objection, there we go. That's my weak point. So then even while I'm messaging, like I'm thinking, okay, what are they gonna say or whatever? And then I freeze and whatnot. Just because.
Well, you're not going to get any objections until really the end when you say, have you ever worked with a coach?
Yeah.
That's just a conversation up until that point. So no one's going to give you an objection. The easiest way I can talk about messaging is just like, if you were standing next to me right now and having a conversation with me, just have a normal conversation, right? So let's role play for a second. Hey, Venetia, saw you just followed me on Instagram. I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone who supports me. Where are you from? I'd like to get to know my followers.
Oh, I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, no way, me too. Starting to get into fall weather here, right? I'm gonna have to start moving my workouts indoors soon. Do you work out yourself, or what made you hit the follow button?
You know, I just really love the content. I have been working out for quite some time, and I thought, hey, why don't I follow? Maybe I can get some good pointers out of this page.
Hopefully you can. Well, while we're here, do you mind if I ask you a few questions, see if I can steer you in the right direction at all?
Not at all.
Cool. So what goals are you working towards right now?
So right now I'm working on building more muscle mass. Yeah, that's the biggest one, getting stronger and building more muscle mass.
Why do you want to do that? Like, what shifted all of a sudden that you want to do that? Good for you, by the way.
Well, that's a good question, I should say. Thank you. I just felt like I've always been super small and like skinny. So I was like, you know, how would you look? Like, I've always wanted to see how I would look if I put like my 110%, put my best foot forward, and just see where I can take it from there. I failed to mention too, I do want to get stronger with my own body weight, with like muscles, pull-ups, etc.
Why is that? Like, is there certain things in life that you're not able to do, or is it just kind of a vanity reason, or both?
I think part of it is vanity, but also too, like, I want to be able to live long, but also be able to use the time that I have to see where I can, like, how strong I can be. So then I can also prevent, like, injury from when I'm older too.
I love that. So important. I feel like a lot of people don't think about the future. We can only just think about like what's going on right now. What has been your biggest challenge with getting stronger up until this point, or what's the roadblock that you're facing preventing you from being there?
Good question. I think sometimes it's fear of hurting myself, because I do have quite a bit of minor injuries. But I think too, consistency with eating enough, those two. So pushing myself and not letting my fears limit me, and then eating enough.
Gotcha. So I totally agree. Getting strong, you have to make sure you're fueling your body right. So I'm happy that you mentioned that. A lot of people don't realize that. I guess if it's a lack of kind of knowledge or fear of getting hurt and not really knowing how to eat more without feeling too full, have you ever considered working with a coach before, or no?
I have, actually.
Awesome, cool. And did you do it, or what held you back?
I hadn't. What held me back was the investment. I think it was at the right
How
time.
much was it?
I believe for 3 months it was about $2,000 roughly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you wanted to do it, it was just too expensive?
Yes.
Well, hey, tell you what, I don't have a package that's that expensive, LOL, but I do want to help you. So if we were to come up with a package that could fit into whatever your budget is, would you be totally opposed to having a discussion to see if it's a good fit?
You know, I would like to, but I just don't know if I would trust myself in like following through, you know?
Gotcha. So when you say you wouldn't trust yourself in following through, like if we were to schedule workouts, you think you just wouldn't come, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I just don't know if I can I don't know if I'd be able to follow the commitment. Just don't trust myself.
Gotcha. I mean, when you went to go hire that trainer, you said it was money. So was it money, or is that you just didn't really want to prioritize getting stronger?
I genuinely felt like it was money.
Okay. So is it still money, or is it that it's just no longer a goal for you? Because you're telling me it's money, telling you that I could probably help you solve the money thing, it won't be an issue. Now you're saying you're not sure if you want to actually make it a priority.
You know, that's a good point. Maybe I haven't thought about it being a priority. But, you know, I think now that you mention it, thinking about how badly I want to get to my goals, maybe I'll schedule a call.
So there you go. Now, very rarely will someone in the DMs tell you, let's just, I just don't know if I can commit.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably going to be money, or it's not the right time. So you went and did a little segue there. It's usually going to be money, and you just say what I told you to say, just said about money. But take what we just did and put it via text.
Okay.
It's the exact same thing.
Okay. And now I have another question. What if someone's long-winded? Because that happens. So there's a couple things that happen. One, I've noticed on occasion now people send me voice memos, and I have to they'll send me 4 1-minute voice memos.
Put it in 2x, listen to kind of what they're talking about, turn that 1 minute into a 2-minute voice memo, and then send them a voice memo. You want to match their energy. If they send you a voice memo, you send them a voice memo.
Okay.
If they send you a novel, you send them a shorter novel.
Okay.
Right? If they send you 1 word, you be short with them.
Okay, sounds good.
That is a good sign if they're doing that.
Yeah, the voice memo.
Because they trust you, they really are engaged in the conversation. If you're getting yes, yeah, kind of, not really, 1-word answers, red flag.
Okay.
So you having been with me for a very short time and us talking, I already know you have a ton of potential in your DMs.
Yeah.
People are very engaged with you. People are answering you. People are asking you for help, which very rarely happens.
Yeah.
You just have to take the energy to capitalize on it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I guess even with going back to the long-winded thing, I think sometimes my challenge too is like they'll share like their whole life story and it just keeps going and going and going. Like even when I'm like, yeah, I totally understand, like I get it, to try to resonate with them. Like how would you suggest like pivoting? Because sometimes I'm like, dang, like I don't think we're ever gonna get to the point.
And that's never really happened with me. At some point you can say, hey, look, like if I feel like we have a lot to cover and it's gonna take us another 30,000 pages to talk here. Would you be open setting up a time? I think I can definitely help you with what you're trying to do.
Okay, so don't even like finish the script. Just be like, yeah, I feel like you have a lot to share. If
it's that bad, like I personally have, no one's ever told me it's been that bad, and I've never experienced it. But like, if you're getting novel after novel after novel after novel, and they're just kind of ignoring everything else other than telling them, like they're just, what's the word I'm looking for? If they're just throwing all their trauma onto you, then just like, hey, look, like I want to hear you out. I want to help you. Are you open to getting on a call? I think it'd be a lot easier.
Okay.
Trauma dumping, that's what it's called.
Yes, trauma dumping. Okay. Outreach and tracking everything because I've been terrible at tracking. Okay. I don't know. I'm looking at this. I know outreach is an issue and I know sales looks pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like sales is like, I guess I need to just keep showing up to the calls.
So you've had 7 out of 18. So you have 7 or something clients?
Yeah, 7, 8.
So how are you at this? 7 clients.
So that's how much like comes into my bank account.
If you charge $2,400 and you get 2 clients a month, I want you to tell me that you make $4,800 a month.
Okay.
How much money do you make per month from client signups?
So yeah, I would say like about 4,800.
Okay.
It's just
where does all the money go?
It doesn't come because people are like signing up like with payment plans. Okay. So that's why I'm not getting like.
Okay. So your cash. This is cash collected.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And then this is contracted. Is how much? Like contract, if someone were to pay you up front, how much do you make a month, roughly? 2 new clients a month?
Yeah, so I'd say like roughly 4,800.
Okay,
4,800.
3,000 to 4,500.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to definitely distinguish between both of those.
Yeah.
Out of those 7 people that you've sold, how many are on payment plans? All of them?
No, it's about 6.
Okay, so there is not definitely, but more likely than not, there's a sales issue there where you're not getting the payment up front because you're backing down into a payment plan too much.
Yes.
Okay? So when you pitch the price, do what?
Be quiet.
Quiet,
Yeah.
okay? If you can just wait 8 seconds, research says that you have a 90% more chance of closing the person if you just can wait 8 seconds in awkward silence if they don't say anything.
Okay.
Okay? I've waited up to like 2 minutes. I just sat there. I even muted myself one time. I was just like, I'll just wait for this guy to talk. Because he's processing everything. Now, when someone says, is that due up front or is there a payment plan? I'm willing to bet you say, yeah, there's a payment plan. We can do this, this, that. And you don't challenge them on the paying up front. Am I right or wrong?
You're very right.
Okay, so that is an issue. Because if you have all payment plans, you don't have enough money to fund your business.
Yeah.
So that's another constraint that you have, not the primary one, but one of them is you don't have money to get Go High Level and spend $97 a month on Go High Level.
Yeah.
That's an issue. So we need more cash collected. We need to push up front how much we're putting in our bank account for a couple reasons. Primarily, we want the money, but also like I'm sure you've already had people asking to back out and stop their payment plan and stuff.
Yes.
Which if you do the collected, it's not going to happen. With payment plans, you're going to run into these headaches. And at scale, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So when someone says, is this due up front or are there payment plan options? You should say, most of my clients pay up front. And honestly, the clients who do that end up doing better anyway and just are more committed. Would you be able to do that today? And just yes or no. It's a little bit uncomfortable if you're not used to it, but just ask them. Is this due up front? Most of my clients do take care of it up front, and I find that those clients are just way more committed and do better throughout the program, and obviously I want that for you. Are you able to just take care of it up front today? If they say no, you say, okay, no worries. I don't usually do payment plans, but don't want money to be the reason why you can't get the help today. So let me take a step back. Do you still want my help and it's just a matter of money? Are there any other concerns other than money? No, it's just money. Okay. So if we were to come up with a payment plan that worked for you and for me, there'd be nothing else holding you back at this point. No, okay. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, personal questions around your finances so we don't just throw out random numbers and I can help you get started as efficiently as possible while also making sure you keep food on the table for your family? Yes or no? If they want your help, they're going to say no problem. Okay, open wallet. Open their wallet. All right, how much money do you have? Cash. How much money do you have in your checking and your savings account? If I were to tell you to go look in there today, I don't think you should spend all of it. I just want to get an understanding. I have $1,000. Is that in checking and savings together, or is that both? That's between both of them. Okay, so you have $1,000 in cash. And let's just say you told them it's a $1,500 90-day program. Okay. Credit cards. Do you own any credit cards? Yeah, I have an Amex that has a $5,000 limit on it, but out of that $5,000, only $2,000 is available. Okay. And what's your credit score? My credit score is about a 680. Okay. So you have $1,000 cash, you have $2,000 in credit, and you have a credit score of 680. Okay. So I don't think you should spend all of $1,000 here, but I also don't think you should just continue to live life the way that you are, hating the way you look and not being able to walk up a flight of stairs. So here's what I think we should do. I think we should put down a deposit of $250. Okay, that'll bring this down to $1,250, and then you have an option. We can either put that on credit card on your Amex, or we partner with a firm in Klarna, and what we can do is come up with the payment plan for the rest of it that we can extend up to 32 months. This is subject to credit approval, but it doesn't hurt your credit. It's a soft credit inquiry to check what we can do. Do you want to take a look at this? Yes. Anyone who actually wants your help, when you provide a solution, they're not going to say no, okay? Right. If they tell you no when you're providing a clear solution, it's not money, it's something else, because it wouldn't make sense. So then you go and you finance the rest through a firm. But at least you get some sort of micro commitment, more money up front, and then you go through a firm. I guess let me take this back, because if you go through a firm, you won't need to do this. If you don't get approved through a firm, so if this is their scenario, I would just go through a firm first. Don't worry about the $250 deposit. If they don't get approved through a firm, I would say, okay, why don't we do $250 down, and then we'll put the rest on the credit card, and you can just pay off the credit card, and there's no prepayment penalty, so anytime that you want to pay it off, you just pay it off.
Okay. I have another scenario or question on how to deal with this, because I think dealing with this sometimes is challenging. I hadn't been asking about like how much money they have in their bank account or like their credit limit. But for example, it was the last person that I closed on. So with the buying a house, but she can't pay all up front. And because she's buying a house, she didn't want to go through like a firm so it shows up on her credit. So I felt stuck a little bit. So I had her do the deposit and stuff.
There are some scenarios where it's just not going to work. Like buying a house is just one of those scenarios where I used to try to push them to do it anyway, but now that I bought my own house, like your lender tells you, do not touch your credit score. Because if your credit score gets affected, it's going to lower, we're going to give you for a loan. So anyone who's so I would just say, are you like really serious about buying a house and like you got pre-approved and you're actively looking every weekend? Or is it something you just know you want to start taking more seriously and house hunting at some point down the road? If they're actively looking, then you're not going to do a firm in Klarna.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I had her like just a mess, like just a hot mess. Anyways, I had her do like, I think I'd explained it, but the deposit. I had her do the deposit through, what do you call that? Stripe. And I was like, okay, we'll meet again. So she could do another deposit, just do the payment plan on Stripe. But I know like you can't just do that with anyone, because what if they don't show up? So in that case, would I just be like, so with her, she wasn't able to do everything up front from what she said, but I didn't go through.
So you took a deposit on Stripe.
Yeah.
How much?
It was like $250, I think.
Okay, and then the payment plan was how much after that?
So then we were saying that she would do the payment plan of $400 after the fact. So she was going to pay another $200, and then she was going to do a payment plan.
Did you already tell her, why don't we do $400 today, or no?
Yeah, I did, but she was like, she wasn't able to do it today because of her finances. But I didn't think to tell her or to ask her, oh, well, how much do you have? And I think that was just me like... Yeah, because if you give out random numbers, you're guessing on how much they have and what they can do. If they tell you the numbers, okay, now you know what they can and cannot do. Because if someone says they have $1,000 in their bank account, and you say, okay, that $1,000, that kind of just, that's after all your bills are paid, everything else. So that's another thing you can add is like, how much is in your checking and savings account after all your bills are paid every month? Roughly what's in there? Okay, so she just told me I have 1,000, and then she said I can't afford 400 deposit today. She's obviously lying because she can't afford it. She's just not willing to. Yeah. And that's a conversation that you have. So then she puts it, because then it's a messy situation, $250 deposit, and then you have to get her to send her a link for a $400 subscription afterwards. Right. Which, if you have a contract, they're more binded to do that. If you don't have a contract, people are just going to tell you go after yourself. Yeah.
if they don't like the program. People who aren't committed, gave you a half-ass yes, they're probably going to say, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, because I've spoken to her and she seemed committed. I guess this is the roadblock. I can just share the roadblock with her. Because, yeah, she did that and she's like, okay, let's start. And then she was talking about trouble with the app. So I was like, okay, let's get on FaceTime. And then she texted me like, I might have to pause because I'm going to go away or whatever.
I would just say that's not an op. Like, you can pause the time, but the payments are not paused. We're in a binding contract. I don't work for just $250 in a month. I just gracefully let you do that to help you and get you started. The money is still due.
Okay, I'll tell her that.
Because I know you're not this type of person, but if you continue to just get payment plans, you're gonna get walked on all over because you don't like to just tell you don't like to tell it how it is. Like, if you owe me this money, you'd rather just take the loss and be on their good side, which business and friendship you have to separate.
Right.
So.
Okay. No, that's real. No, it's real. It's real. Sounds good. So I guess just to reiterate to make sure I got it. So in cases like hers, just have her do the payment plan. And she says she can't do it. So before, if she asks for the payment plan, should I be asking how much she has beforehand? If she says she can't afford, say the paid in full.
So you tell her the pay in full price. When she asks you if there's a payment plan, 9 times out of 10, someone will. You say, yes, there's a payment plan. And also, I forgot something else you can say is, yes, you'd say most people pay it up front. And I find that my most committed students who do the best end up paying it up front. Also, most people elect to pay it up front because they take a little bit off the top if you do. But if that is not even the ballpark of possibility, then we can offer a payment plan. I would first ask before you say, yes, we can offer a payment plan. First ask, is that something that you can take care of today? And then if she says no, then you go into you tie down. Don't just start blurting out a payment plan. Make her tell you that if you guys come up with a payment plan that is within her budget, she's ready to move forward. If she does not tell you that, or if she's iffy, don't offer a payment plan. You have to make it seem like you're doing her a favor and that you don't usually do this, meaning offering a payment plan. So we need more pay in fulls, for sure.
Yeah, for certain. Okay.
That, or if you do an open wallet, right? You don't have to only take a $250 deposit or $400. It's not the worst case scenario if for $2,400 they split it up over 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
That is also an option, right? So I wouldn't just say, okay, yeah, for 6 months we can spread it out over the whole 6 months. Start with, okay, I don't usually do this. What we can do is we can just split it in half. $1,200 today, $1,200 next month, and we're good, right? So don't just go right to their best case scenario. You work down the ladder of your best case scenario.
Yeah, because that's always what I do. That's all I have for the sales.